you've been the hunted before at North Dakota State for many years. Everybody's big target. What is the big adjustment there when you know you got something to protect?
You don't shy away from it. You talk about it. The target's on our back. There's expectations, but that's why you came to Kansas State, to have high expectations, to be the team that people want to beat. And that's how we did it in the past, and it really worked because it just kept elevating. That's what we want to continue to do. And I heard Jerome talk about it too. It's just continue to elevate in what we're doing at K-State.
Having done that at North Dakota State, is that something you can draw on maybe to help you guide the team through?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, just the experiences. I look at that Klieman on the defensive side and Connor Riley on the offensive side. They've been through it as well. They know exactly what we're talking about. And I can promise you one thing: the offensive line is going to hear about it all the time from Coach Riley, because he's going to get after him every day to say, well, you're supposedly the strength of our team. Let's prove it day in and day out. And that's always fun, though, too.
What are the biggest advantages that come with having Colin back, Will back, you back, all that continuity there?
The continuity is huge, especially on the offensive side. Now we're going into year 2, and I'm excited because I think we've barely scratching the surface of what we can do offensively. I really believe that. And Colin had his first year and was phenomenal, but I saw some innovation. I saw even more things in spring ball that they were able to do. And when you have a guy like Will that is so smart, I think that we're going to be able to, even advance a lot of things that we've done and find ways. We got to find ways to get guys to football now. I mean, last year and the last few years, where's 22 and let's get the football to him some way. Now it's going to be a lot of guys that are going to have different touches, and I think it'll make us probably more difficult to defend.
Coach, Cincinnati's a new addition to the league. What type of value do they bring?
Great value. We don't get the opportunity to play them this year, but I'm excited about them coming in the league. I've got a tremendous amount of respect for them. They were in the college football playoff, and it'd be a great addition.
Coach, you spent 5 years as head coach in Fargo, and now you're starting your 5th year here. How have you advanced and learned from this experience at this level?
I've advanced and learned because college football continues to evolve as well over the last few years. And if you'd have told me, Fitz, that I was going to change a defense, go to a no-huddle offense, change all that stuff, I'd have said there's no way. I'm going to stay with what I believe in. But you have to adapt and evolve not only to your talent, but to how the conference and how the teams you are playing changes. And we had to. We had to move to a 3-down. We had to go to more up-tempo stuff. And now our kids, it gives our kids something every year to look forward to. Hey, what are we installing this year? What are we doing new this year? And I think you always have to evolve.
Coach, Kobe Savage, he was a year with y'all. What do you expect to see from him in the second year in y'all's defense?
Well, I'm excited. Kobe was an all Big 12 player and got his season cut short by a handful of games, and he's fully healthy now, and tremendous leader, tremendous hitter. I mean, that guy will come and rock you, but he's going to have to be a catalyst back there because we lost 3 guys that are playing in the NFL in the secondary, and 2 of them were drafted, and so Kobe's going to have a lot on his plate this year, and we're excited for him.
Good. How do you feel about the Wildcats being picked number 2 in the media preseason poll last week?
I don't pay attention to it, honestly. What were we picked last year? What were we picked my first? I mean, I think it's all great things to talk about, but it doesn't mean anything until you put pads on and start getting into competition. And I think it's we talk about expectations. We knew the expectations would be higher when we won, but now you got to wipe it clean. It's a brand new year with new guys, new team.
You talked about Deuce, and obviously when he got drafted, that was one of the cooler moments, seeing his dad, give that phone call. What was your reaction to
that? Was one of the neatest moments I've ever seen in my years of coaching, and probably because I know his dad so well, and I know how hard but how wonderful that call was, and I know Deuce really well. And for him to be able to come back here, he's had pretty good success in this building too. For him to come back home and play, but not only Deuce, every one of our kids that got drafted got to go home.
You talked about the offensive line, you got all those guys coming back, but do you get tempted to kind of peek into the future with some of the younger players you got there?
Absolutely. I'm really excited about, the Pastoris and Beckwiths and some of those guys. And then I'm so excited for Taylor Portier. I'm so excited for TP. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's had a string of bad luck. And he's moving around really well. He's back to over 290 pounds and running really well. And that adds us and gives us another dimension because we're going to need to play more offensive linemen.
What's impressed you the most about the new guys in the secondary?
Marquise Siegel, he's a seasoned guy, an experienced guy. I'm really excited about him. Jacob Parrish doesn't say much, but he just makes plays, and Jacob's kind of coming into a leadership role. But there's going to be other guys. VJ Payne got some valuable experience last year, when he ended up being the starter for a Big 12 championship and a Sugar Bowl, and he was the third-team guy behind Sincere and behind Kobe, and all of a sudden he's thrust into it, and that experience is going to be invaluable to him.
A year ago, you were coming into the second year of a new defense. This year with the offense, how far ahead are you, having had a whole spring after the season?
We're way ahead, as well as you got every offensive lineman back and you've got your quarterback back. I think that puts you even further ahead, and we'll be able to advance our schemes and our playbook earlier in fall camp rather than really taking baby steps.
Chris, you talked about you guys picked to win the Big 12. It seemed like last year you guys kind of appreciated people doubting you guys.
I didn't mind where we were going to be picked, honestly. I'm glad we're not picked first, to be honest, but it is what it is, and we still got to come and play every day.
4 new teams coming in, 2 teams leaving. Just kind of curious your opinion on the future of the Big 12 and just expansion as a whole.
Oh, it's bright, for sure. You can see it with our TV deal that we signed after losing Texas and Oklahoma. It's really a strange year, because we're not round robin. You guys have been here a lot longer. Some of you guys have been here a really, really long time. For Oklahoma and Kansas State not to play, that's kind of crazy. West Virginia, Neil and I are good friends. I think it's a really good rivalry. It's a great game, and we're not playing those guys either. That's the strange stuff. And now you got to go back and do a bunch of homework on teams that you don't know anything about. We get UCF and Houston that we had to do a lot of legwork on in the spring and summer because we didn't know anything about them.
Chris, you talked about Deuce Vaughn. What are you anticipating out of a guy like Trayshawn Ward?
Not to be Deuce Vaughn, to be Trayshawn Ward for starters, and he's a really good player out of the backfield. He missed most of spring ball, so we're still learning his true skill set, but you can watch him on film and watch him run for 100 plus yards against Oklahoma in a bowl game. I mean, the kid's a special talent, but I think DJ Giddens will also really be a surprise to people.
How good can Daniel Green be this year? It seemed like he wasn't healthy even when he was playing last year.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Glenn, if he's healthy, he's going to be an all Big 12 type of player. And that's what I'm hoping for him, because he had his season cut short. He played, but he wasn't the same self, and that's why he's here. If not, he'd have left and been a free agent, been in somebody's camp or a late round pick. But I'm excited to have Daniel back, because it's like having Eli back last year. I mean, the leadership on that side of the ball I'm really not concerned about, because we had Eli last year, we got Daniel this year.
How much have you seen him grow just as a person since he got on campus?
Man. Daniel and I have been through an awful lot of stuff, and I love that kid. He's a man. I love him because of him being so genuine. He knows he made mistakes as a young player and as a young person, and he admits those, and he talks to the other young guys to make sure that they don't make mistakes. And he's the perfect servant leader, because he makes everybody around him better.
Coach, you mentioned consistency on offense, but often in college football we'll see almost the exact same team return for a year, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they get better. So how do you just take advantage of that consistency to have a better season?
Yeah, for starters, we have to run the football. And if you can run the football with those offensive linemen, we're going to continue to improve and get better. If we struggle, it's going to be because we can't run the football. Because as we've been successful over the last 2 years, and I think of 21 when Skyler was a senior, and then 22, it's because we've been able to run the football, and then it opens everything up. And so that's something that is going to be really important for us, is to build that rapport with the running back, because we knew who was going to be back there last year. Now this year it's going to be different, but I'm excited to see how much we can improve.
How much confidence do you have in Jake Rubley as a potential backup option at quarterback?
Rubes is gaining more and more confidence. I thought he had a really good spring, excellent spring. Threw the ball well, understood what we were doing. He's been in the system now a little bit longer. He took a lot more reps this spring, so we took some off of Will. So I'm excited about Rubes' development, and I think he can be a guy, and he knows it. He goes, I've been in this program. I see that you don't always make it through a season. You better have 2 or 3 guys at quarterback, and other than I think my first year here in 19, we've had to play 2 or 3 guys.
How much ownership is Will taking? This is the first season he's actually entered the season as like the known starter.
He's excited about it, and I think everybody can see the confidence and belief that he has in himself, and more importantly, the team has in Will.
How good is that quarterback currently?
It's, I think, really good, and it's led by one of the greatest men in college football, in Colin Klein. But I sit in that room a lot and throw my defensive knowledge at him periodically. It's just a really healthy, strong room with good competition, but a bunch of guys that really care for each other and learning.
Eli Huggins is another guy that's going to be super tough to replace, maybe irreplaceable, but of those guys.
Uso, I'm just telling you, you watch Uso. Uso's trimmed down as much as he can trim down and still run at 337 pounds or something, and athletic and strong, and he learned a lot from Eli, and I'm excited for Uso, and I'm excited for Damian Olave too.
Open-ended one here. Just how good could Will Howard be this season?
I think the sky's the limit. I think he's going to have his best year for sure now. It's going to be the surrounding cast too. They've got to be able to help him out. We don't have Malik, we don't have Cade, and we don't have Deuce. So we've got to have, the production's got to be replaced. And we talked about it at running back. Wide receiver Keegan Johnson's got to have a really big year for us. RJ's got to have a really big year for us. Jaden Jackson's got to have a big year for us. Phillip's got to continue to get better and better. So that's what we're hoping for.
Go one more, guys.
Ben Stinnett, about as confident as anybody after kind of the way that he wrapped up the season last year?
Those Waterloo, Iowa guys, I'm telling you, Glenn. No, Ben, really excited for him. He has made himself into a tremendous football player, and he's a great tight end, great fullback, but he's one of our top wide receivers too, so we've got to keep him on the field in third down situations. So Ben's got to get in phenomenal shape because he's going to play a lot of snaps for us.